Good morning. Today's topic is vocabulary. How do you build your vocabulary? There is only one best possible way to build your vocabulary. See, the more you read, the better you become. The more you read, the greater knowledge you gain. The more you read, the greater ideas your brain will possess. The more you read, the more unknown words you come across and you can learn them. See, for me, vocabulary means learning all the unknown words, all the unknown words and mastering it and keeping it in your brains. The more words you know, it means for me you have the better IQ. You have the better IQ according to better IQ vocabulary, right? To be simple, vocabulary means all the words known and used by a particular person. I suggest you all and explain to you all with all my experience and knowledge, the best way of gaining vocabulary is not by watching TVs or any other TV shows or serials. It's just by, it can be acquired by learning novels. For me, the best possible way to learn vocabulary is through reading novels. See, a lot of people have the habit of noting the unknown words while which come across while reading the novel or the story. They have the habit of noting it and have the idea that I'll check it later after completing the whole story. They will check it after 3 to 4 hours, or after an 3 to 5 after an interval of 5 to 6 hours, which is really a bad habit. You have to learn the word then and there. See, let me explain this deeply. I've chosen some lines from a novel called Genius Doctor Black Belly Miss to make you understand better. See, why you have to read, why you have to check the words then and there. There will be some lines, for example, there will be some lines you can't move forward with. You can't move forward into the remaining story without learning them. For example, let me explain with an example. I picked this line from the novel called Genius Doctor Black Belly Miss. Sujit courted the emperor to have the second prince and his granddaughter betrothed. You can't understand the meaning of these lines without knowing the meaning of the words corset and betrothed. Let Corset means to obtain something from someone by adding some force or putting some force onto him is called as corset. What is betrothed? Betrothed is uh, the person to whom one is getting engaged is called as betrothed. Now, after knowing the meaning, after knowing the meaning of these two words only, you can understand these two lines. Now let's check. Sujit courted the emperor to have the second prince and his granddaughter betrothed. So these lines explains that Sujit had put some force on the emperor to have the second prince, so that his granddaughter agreed to engage the second prince. These lines explains this. Now, there'll be some lines. Okay, there'll be some lines. Without knowing the actual meaning of the words, we can understand the meaning of the lines, and we can move forward. But we can understand the meaning to 90%, 95% of the writer's view. But it's just like a plain picture without adding any animation effect or visual effect to it. Let me explain it. Again, these lines are taken from the same novel, Genius Doctor Black Belly Miss. Let me explain this with an example. Having mustered every ounce of strength she had left in her frail body, although the distance wasn't far, it was an enduring feat. See, without knowing the meanings of mustard, ounce, or frail, enduring, we can understand these lines. These lines states that having some strength in her body, even though the distance wasn't far, she reached it. These lines gives the meaning, right? We can understand the meaning without knowing these words. But after knowing these words, Let me explain these words, meaning of these words. Mustard is pulling pulling yourself up, like pulling your qualities, or pulling some qualities in yourself, pulling some qualities in you, like courage, strength, bravery, something like that. Ounce is a very small amount of something, which is really really small amount, is called as ounce. Frail is weak, delicate, easily, can be easily breakable, as called as frail. Enduring is something which lasts for a long time, is called as enduring. After knowing these words, now let's check the meaning of these lines. Having mastered every ounce of strength she had left in a frail body. See, she just pulled every strength, the very small strength which is left in her body, because she's so weak. She just pulled every strength, very small strength, very minute strength in her. Although the distance wasn't far, it was an enduring feat. Even though the distance wasn't far, she just pulled each and every strength which is left in her body, because she is that weak. She is so weak. So she just pulled up every strength, every remaining strength in her body, in a weak body, and we reached it, and she made it. Even though the distance wasn't far, she just have to struggle. She have to pull herself so badly to reach that small distance, and she made it. If she made it, so definitely it will be an enduring feat for anybody. I mean, that feat, if we do it, and that in a if we reach that in a very in a struggling way, and we'll definitely remember it for a long time, so that we can say that this is an enduring feat. See, now check it. After knowing the actual meaning of the words, you get the 100% view of the writer. 100% view of the writer. That's why you have to check the words then and there. You have to check the words then and there. Now it's just like the painting is. It's the picture is like. Now it's just like an animation effect. It's just like the picture is a picture is complete with an animation effect or a visual effect. You get the difference. If you skip it, you miss the actual essence of it, or uh, something. You miss the mainstream of it, the writer's magic of it. You miss it. So this is the difference. That's why you have to read it. You have to check the word then and there, and you have to learn it then and there. Got it? Now there'll be some words which will be there'll be some words which appear very close. The meaning is, but they appear really close, but the meaning is completely different. So you have to learn each and every word very carefully. You have to learn every word, every unknown word. You really have to learn each every unknown word. Let me explain with an example. See, example is strutting. Strutting is strutting. Strutting. It's a past continuous actually. Strutted. S. Strutting is strutting. Strutting. Strutted is stuttered. There's only a letter difference, but the meaning is entirely, completely opposite and completely different. Strutting is strutting is strutting is uh, strutting. Strutting means walking in a proud way to grab the attention of someone is called as strutting. Mm, Strutting is arrogant, erect, arrogant, or to walk in a proud way to grab the attention of someone is called as strutting. Stuttered. Stuttered is stuttered is stuttered is wait, stuttered is to stuttered is to speak the first word with great difficulty, and to speak the first word with great difficulty just because of his in great pain is called a stutter. Strutting and stuttered is completely entirely different. Strutting is, strutting is to walk in a proud way, to grab the attention of someone, or arrogant or erect, walk stiff is called a strutting. Stuttered is to speak something with great difficulty, especially the first word. It's just like uttering the first word with great pain, and because he's in pain, that's called a stutter. And there's so many, there are hundreds of words which are very near, but the meaning is completely different. Example: effective is successful, effective is expressing the feeling, effective and effective. Effective is uh, successful, and effective is expressing the feeling is called as effective. So there are hundreds and words which are very near, so you have to read. If you are very confident about the word, then only then you can know the meaning, you can differentiate the meaning. Otherwise you'll be completely lost. You will really mislead yourself. And learning vocabulary is important because some words make magic and add beauty to the whole sentence. Without that word, the whole sentence looks dull. There'll be some words which really add the meaning to the whole sentence, not or three to four lines of whole sentence. There's just one word explains the whole sentence. That is the beauty of vocabulary, and that's why you have to learn vocabulary. You have to learn every unknown word. For me, let me explain this with an example. The mysterious man raised his eyebrows as he sought to claim his own emotions as the deep black obsidian. The mysterious man raised his eyebrows as he sought to claim his own emotions are deep black obsidian. The mysterious man raised his eyebrows and claimed that he himself claimed that his emotions are deep black. His emotions are really deep. What is obsidian? Now let's check the word obsidian. Obsidian is obsidian is a deep, a black rock, a strong black rock, which is formed after the cooling of lava, which is not crystallized, which means the rock is dark, uneven, strong, rough. It's not crystallized. So his emotions are so deep, man. I mean, he must be holding the emotions from a long, long, long time. His emotions are so deep, so dark, so rough, which is which is really formed after the lava. His emotions are so strong. I mean, it's formed after the lava, after cooling of the lava. Means his emotions are so strong, which has been stored for a long, long time. This means obsidian means this. See, do you understand the difference now? It's just like eating the biryani. After knowing the obsidian, it's just like eating the biryani with adding masala full spicy. And before, without the obsidian, without the knowing the meaning of the obsidian, it's just like eating the plain biryani, not so musty and involved, and not so yummy to this tongue. All right, after knowing the meaning of the obsidian, it's just like eating the biryani with uh, extra masala added to it, some more spice added to it. So that's the magic, and that's the beauty of words. So you have to learn vocabulary. And one more tip: why do you have to learn vocabulary? I'll tell you. And see, to be the to speed up in vocabulary, to be the best in vocabulary, or you want to execute super skills of vocabulary, the most important thing is you have to learn three to four or three or more similar words. You have to learn three or more or above similar words to a particular word. Then you'll be a super expert in vocabulary. You'll be the best in vocabulary, right? Example: presumptuous. Presumptuous is a person who is presumptuous will show little respect to the other one by doing things which is not allowed to, or which he does wantedly to, showing to show lack of respect towards him is called as presumptuous. Example: similar words to presumptuous are brazen and arrogant and um, overconfident. So that you have to to learn that's why you have to learn vocabulary. After learning vocabulary, after knowing a lot of words, please learn similar words to it. If you get the idea, if you just know three or more similar words to a single word, and that would be a beautiful, that would really be beautiful, man. That's the best way of learning vocabulary. And if you know more similar words, your brain will run fast, and you can use it in sentences in any way you like, or you can use a proper your sentence will be beautiful in a perfect, grammatical, attractive way. So learning vocabulary is really important. All the youth or students, just go catch so learn vocabulary. These are my 5 beautiful tips to learn best vocabulary. Thank you.